What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to Disney Plus The Fuss, and today we're going to be talking about Mandalorian Chapter 6.
On this program, a bit of magic. That's what the show is all about.
Episode 6, which the episode is entitled
The Prisoner.
The Prisoner.
Is that right?
Yeah, I think that's right.
Okay, so sorry, this one's going to be a little bit late to the game, but better late than never.
But you guys, you want our fuss, so we're going to give it to you.
To be fair, we actually did meet up previously to record this episode, and I may have forgotten one of the cables to record.
It was very important. But we had a really nice conversation about it, and
we sure did.
We moved on.
And yeah, that's right. And if you are confused, yes, Garrett is not here. He will be joining us later for recording.
Yeah, but we got to get this stuff done.
We gotta get it done.
Time waits for no man.
That's right. All right.
Unless you're a Mandalorian.
I liked that.
Yes.
That was very nice. Did you plan that ahead, or is that on the fly?
That is on the fly.
Brayton Mills, ladies and gentlemen. He's just.
I know how to. I got the wit and I got the things. You know.
Right. If only your face wasn't covered up by the microphone.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of going through a nice little pudgy phase right now, so I'm trying to hide behind as much as I can.
It's a little bit of holiday weight, and
weight.
January's right around the corner, so
coming up.
Hit the ground running quite literally.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm gonna do some of the some door lifts, which was also featured in this episode.
Oh, all right. So speaking of this episode, let's go ahead and jump into our initial impressions of the episode.
Dude,
what you remember about it, what you like.
Especially after episode 5, which
was the stinker of the season so far.
Now, I was a little bit more on the positive end of it.
Yes, you were.
But
has your opinion changed at all?
In the grand scheme of things of the show, I still like the elements of it. The execution of it was not as good. But also when you break down the kind of the relevancy that it has on the rest of the episodes, it really doesn't. Very true. It doesn't kind of hold up to them.
Right.
Anyhow,
it's not as important, I guess. Overall.
Episode 6, and not too much happens in episode 5, but in episode 6, things ramp up.
It ups
so
the game a little
much
bit.
Fun.
Right. So what was your first impression after you finished watching episode 6?
I was like, dude, this is the kind of characters that I want to see, where it's we got to know a lot more of Mando's, like, not his backstory, but they allude to a bit more. Like he fools around with some alien chicks. That's cool.
Yeah, you know that he has a little bit of a love history with somebody.
Yeah. And it goes into a little bit more of like, hey, these guys owe me favors. If you do this for me, I do this for you. Kind of quid pro quo kind of stuff. It's pretty. It was pretty cool. I went in. I came away from this really enjoying my time.
Okay.
Like I think it was I really just enjoyed almost the camaraderie between the people that was still very contentious, but I think that would probably be my favorite, is the contentious nature of the group.
Gotcha. I agree with that. I really enjoyed. Well, my first reaction was, this feels more like Star Wars. Not that the other episodes didn't really feel like it was in the Star Wars universe, but this one felt, because it's in outer space, like it's in the stars. It felt more like Star Wars, and the camaraderie of like the group, and then there's like the mission and breaking people out of prison. Yeah. There was a lot of more elements to this episode that felt reminiscent of the original trilogy, which is my favorite. The writing and the direction of it was just so fun. And I think that's kind of basically what you landed on, right? That I felt more engaged. I felt more connected to the characters that we're following, especially following episode 5. But this one, it got me like focused in and like really, really hyped up for the series again.
For sure. And one of my favorite things about it is Mando has been getting his butt kicked a lot of the time. And in this episode, it really turned around back to where he is a butt kicker.
Yes.
Where he is just mowing down droids. And then eventually, kind of when they did the turn and they shoved him into the jail and he had to bust himself out, all of a sudden the film kind of took a little bit, and this is kind of cool too. It was less of a Western vibe in this episode because it was more in space.
Yeah.
But
You're saying that cowboy movies aren't in outer space?
no, dude.
All right, what are you
Most
saying?
of them are in the desert. Had a very much, it had more of an alien vibe to it, where he's become the predator to find
He's
find
the
them.
hunter, you know?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. And the droid's like, oh shoot.
Yeah.
What?
I loved the fact that it felt like, like he's back on his game, like you said, he gets kind of beat in a lot of fights, or almost barely like wins,
Mm-hmm.
But in this one, he is the threat. He's the one blasting around corners, and he gets recruited to be part of this team because of his like firepower and what he's capable of doing. So that part's really, really cool.
Yeah. And all the performances were much better this time around.
Most of them.
Who did you not care for?
I thought the Hellboy guy was a little cheesy. I don't even know his name. The guy with the big red enforcer.
Yeah,
He's the muscle,
That
I wasn't, but it was fine. He's
was
part
probably
of
the
team.
weakest.
Okay.
But it was since they're playing alien characters, it's not like they have to act like humanoid.
Yeah,
or
I guess I was talking more about like the writing. I mean, his acting
Oh.
was fine, but I mean, because he's just the stupid muscle guy. But I mean, it's
Right.
fine. We haven't really had a character like that in the show.
Yeah, he's a tank.
Yeah, I mean, the series doesn't have that, so it's not like it's really cheesy. That was the part that I liked the least. I don't think it ruined the episode at all. Just saying that.
no.
All right, so talking about what we liked and whatever disliked, let's go ahead and let's talk about what we dislike first.
Okay.
You can start with that, and then we'll go into what we like, because there's a lot more to talk about as far as likes go with this episode.
There wasn't too much for me that I didn't like about it, other than
Did you see the twist coming? Okay, so spoiler alert, obviously, you guys, it's in the description and stuff, so shame on you. But did you see the twist coming where they were gonna put Mando in the prison when they swapped him out?
Oh.
Did you see that coming?
not that direct twist, but I knew a betrayal was going to be.
I thought that it wasn't going to be coming till later. I felt a betrayal coming, because these people are all looking out for themselves.
they're
They don't-
renegades.
Yeah, they don't want to pay Mando. They just want
What?
to use him.
Yeah, we got his ship.
Yeah.
Boom.
So, but I didn't see the whole putting him in the prison.
That's smart.
And then we got to see. So, I'll wait to talk about that. I'll wait because it's definitely a like. Go ahead, talk about more about dislikes. There's got to be something else out there.
I didn't think that the droid design of the kind of the battle droids that came
Okay.
by, they didn't look
Like the
that-
security droids for the prison ship.
They didn't look that great.
It didn't really feel like it felt sci-fi, but it didn't feel like a Star Wars robot to me.
The kind of the ones that looked like floating trash cans.
Yes,
they
those ones.
did. Those ones looked fine to me.
Okay.
It was the bipedal ones
Yeah.
that just looked like a run of the mill iRobot kind of droid.
I guess so. Yeah.
To me, it looked like that's where the budget got a little bit skimpy. They're like, we got a couple more episodes that we need to make
Okay.
look really good.
All right.
But
that's true.
Some of the like Bill Burr.
Yeah.
was-
What did you think about Bill Burr's performance?
I really liked it. You
Okay.
know, he was kind of playing a version of himself. Where
Yeah,
it was still a abrasive, kind of Boston-y-ish fellow.
Space Boston.
Yeah, but for the role that he was playing, that's kind of like that was good.
True.
Like,
It felt like Bill Burr, but it didn't really feel out of place or too forced. It wasn't like he had to try to be a great actor. They just wanted somebody that was like that, kind of with the attitude or a little bit of a hothead.
yeah. So
Yeah.
obviously he's a. I guess starting in these acting roles, so
Okay.
so it's obviously not like the best, but for what he was doing, worked perfectly
Yes.
for me.
Okay.
And good comedic timing, good good writing as far as his lines go, which was a part that I enjoyed. But really, the droids were the only thing that I kind of
disliked
disliked about it.
Okay.
Pacing was really good. Really,
it was a little bit more suspenseful.
Moved along.
I like how you made the connection to the Alien franchise, because it really kind of everything's kind of like on lockdown. There's a threat out there. People are hunting each other. It's like kill or be killed.
Yeah.
Very suspenseful, and I definitely get that vibe, and I agree. And that's one of the things that I liked. But as far as dislikes go, shoot, you know what? This episode was really good. I can't wait to talk about the rating one.
I guess the brother
was kind of a weaker part.
The least.
Yes.
So
well, I mean, okay. Speaking of characters, there's a ton of cameos.
Mando.
Good job. There's a ton of cameos in this episode, and I think probably the thing
what's his face from Sounds of Anarchy? I think not Opie.
Really.
Yeah, no, I think his name was Ran in this, but he was the main guy that
organized it.
That was the ship. Yeah, he had the long hair.
Yeah.
The beard. He looked like he got off the set of Sons of Anarchy.
He's
like,
just,
guys, I'm still wearing my vest.
Yeah,
I'm here. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, right. I didn't really enjoy the crew cameos because at the very end they had the 3 X-wings that came because
from the
it's
directors?
a Republican prison ship. Yeah, so they're all on the production side of it, and it's not like you need to be great actors to be space pilots in the X-wings. You know, it's a lot of just like reading off military dialogue and stuff.
Right.
But it was cool that they got to be in those roles, but that kind of felt a little too forced because at that point, you know, in this show especially, we see a lot of cameos and stuff, and when we see people like this, it's kind of almost took me out of the episode, but it didn't because it's not like it was a big enough or an important enough part.
Well, it didn't take me out of it because I didn't know who those people were.
Okay. I didn't know who they were before, but I looked it up. I think I paused the episode and looked up. I was like, oh yeah, these people are.
Yeah, they're 3
cameos.
of the directors
Okay.
of each of the episodes.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Anything else that I disliked? Nope.
No.
Sorry. That's about.
Yeah, that was really.
This episode was really good.
What was like your most favorite scene?
My favorite scene would probably be getting to see Mandalorian's like humanitarian side, I guess. Whenever they break in and he said
when
there's
he
not
picked up
there's not
trash on the beach.
No,
That was really good.
So
That was a really interesting part of the episode.
the space beach, he's over there. Him and Baby Yoda just recycling,
Just
saving the space planet.
Yeah.
No, okay, wrong word. I'm sorry. I don't know. Okay, so Mandalorian agrees to the job because there's supposed to only be droids. There's not supposed to be people on the ship. He doesn't
Right.
want to hurt
Yeah.
people that don't need to be hurt. You know, he's not
Yeah.
a thug killer, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And when he gets in there and the other people see that there's the one person in the control room,
Yeah.
a little rebel pilot, well, Republican pilot, I guess.
Yeah.
He doesn't want his group to kill him, and the rest of the group does. And he kind of steps in. He's like, "Hey,
This
I
is
didn't
not
agree
part
to
of the
this." You know?
deal.
Yeah, we got to see a little bit more of his. I don't know what word I'm looking for. I guess we got to see that he really is like.
Merciful side. or
Yeah,
whatever.
we got to see a good side of him.
Yeah.
Like it's not like we thought he was a bad guy, but he's kind of this anti-hero. He kind of has to do what he has to get by.
Yeah.
But no, he's
like
he's,
in the first episode when he just mows down whoever.
yeah, those people that were in the bar.
Yeah.
I think Baby Yoda maybe subconsciously is helping him have morals. We got to see maybe the morals. We got to see more of the morals come through, and he's totally against it. It's not like he's like, hey, I don't think we should do that. He said, I didn't agree to this. We aren't going to kill him.
Yeah,
that
sometimes-
was that conflict where we got to see him with other basically bounty hunters and bad guys. We got to see him kind of like take a stand for what he thinks is right. I enjoyed that part a lot.
Yeah. No, that was a really good part. Actually, and they did what I was hoping that they would do, where they kind of are arguing about it, and then somebody else just like takes the decision out of
Makes
out of
the
their
decision.
hands.
Yeah. Which was kind of the pilot himself because he has the trigger.
Right.
Which I loved that twist at the end where Mando, he drops him off and then leaves the trigger there with him. Oh man. And then the Republican ships just open fire.
Like, hey Mando, why don't you like stay for like a drink or two? Like this is like a time or so. Actually, I kind of really gotta go.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd love to,
Right.
but I gotta
go.
Like, I really gotta go.
Do you have another favorite scene from this episode?
Dude, the fight scenes were really were really cool that each of
Yes.
them had like, you know, the tank just mows down a droid in one situation. The Mandalorian was he was like the initial. They're like, what do even Mandalorians? What are they good for? Why don't you get in there? And he just wrecks shop.
And we finally, we've. It's not like he's been a letdown or that Mando isn't a capable fighter. I guess he's always had the odds stacked against him, which is really cool about this character because he's not afraid of a fight. But we finally get to see him in his element where it's like, all right, Mando, like, why don't you do something? And he just wrecks them, and it's so cool to see.
Did you like the design that Bill Burr had as far as his like extra gun?
I was gonna bring it. I loved that he kind of had an assassin, or like, you know, it makes sense if you have the technology, you would have as many guns as you can. I was gonna say when he pops around the corner, he's got 3. Boom, boom, boom. Loved that part. I thought that was so cool.
Yeah, there was a lot of cool stuff to be had in this, and you just the nice thing about this is I like the in space parts of it because that does feel more Star Wars, but it feels more sci-fi, and it's somewhere that it's just space, but we're not on a planet that we're familiar with.
Right.
We're just kind of I guess it would kind of be like one of those episodes where, like, if you're equating it to like a Western episode, like they have to, there's this prisoner on this train. We need to catch up with this train, and they had to have the droid map it all out, and we're like, we're gonna get on right now. And then once there, it kind of switches the tone of it, which is really, really, really cool.
Right, very cool, very, very good observation on that one. I agree.
Music is still really, really good. The dude, I will say, I didn't care for it at the beginning, but the intro theme song makes me so happy.
Right. I wasn't crazy about it. It now I've grown to love it, and I think that's a really smart move, whether they did it intentionally or not, to kind of make a more simple, like, subdued score. And then it does grow if you watch the end till the end of the episodes and you see the concept art. It's the same song, and then it kind of goes dun 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 dun, and it grows into this big, like, majestic, overarching, like, theme. But it starts very kind of like Mandalorian is. It's like he's a little subdued. He's simple, you know, on the surface. It starts kind of slow, and then it just ramps up. And I agree. I love. I just feel like a kid, like on Saturday mornings, like getting stoked on the episode. And this episode specifically, I think, stands out the most so far. Not that it's like head and shoulders above all the other ones, but it feels so much more unique because it's in space, and you don't really have an assurance that Mandalorian has backup, because in all of the other ones, he kind of has some help. Like, you know, he has Cara Dune, or he has the old man Ryder, you know, somebody's kind of helping him, look out for him, or Baby Yoda. And this one, he doesn't really have that, but he, like, thrives in this episode. And I love the combination of those two, and I'm all about this episode. I thought it was super well made, and I enjoyed it so much.
Agreed. Now, should we move on to ratings?
You know what? I don't know if it's because Garrett's not here and we don't have as many opinions to go around, but we're moving along so fast, and we usually close out with that.
Well, yeah,
and I would love to rate it.
We don't have if we had more dislikes, we could probably argue about it. But
Very
true. There's so many good things about it, and again, it's still. Okay. I guess I can't remember if this episode was the first one that was a little bit longer. Like they're no longer like 30-ish minutes. They're more like 40.
This one took
45.
A little bit longer. Very true. Very true. Yeah. And I liked that part.
Yeah,
it needed to be a little bit longer, and I love that it's not like a dictated by a on-screen, like, TV time where it's like, it has to be this time because it has to fit into this time slot. You know, you have this many breaks for commercials. You know, it will tell the story. And, like, I remember episode 2 is one of the shorter ones too. Yeah. And it didn't need to be any longer. They didn't need to do any boring filler stuff. And that's what's so great about the show, is that it gives you what it needs to, and it withholds everything else that it needs till the next chapter, and they're doing such a good job at that.
Dude, one of my favorite moments, and actually this is one of the strongest points that they have, is not going crazy with Baby Yoda.
True.
Baby Yoda's place in the show is very well executed. Like he barely was in the episode, which is fine. But the moments that he was in, like when the droid's trying to find him, kind of disappearing, kind of moving in and out, like that. That was really well done. Where I can see how it could get annoying if he was just in it constantly, kind of making like, but like so far in this show, he's been perfect.
They've been sprinkling him in just like a bold seasoning, just like only as much as needed. And that's it. Like, so the parts where Baby Yoda does show up, I just treasure it and I smile and I enjoy it so much. I'm like, oh, Baby Yoda's on screen again. I feel more like a fanboy watching this series more than like any of the other movies, because I feel like that like hope, like it just like pure enjoyment, like innocent enjoyment when I get to see just like a character on screen.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be good. It's going to be cute. It's going to be funny.
It's also so much more creative than some of the other things we've seen from Star Wars, where this entire show, we have not seen the main character's face.
Yes.
His sidekick.
I thought we were going to when he was fighting the big red guy.
Yeah,
we almost said
close.
it, but then he crushed that guy.
And the sidekick, Baby Yoda, hasn't spoken.
Right.
So, yet they have a beautiful copacetic relationship. Like
partnership.
Yeah. Or even just the I want to say camaraderie, but the little playing of the knob and be like, here you go.
Yeah.
For you. And
they've got a bond. They've got a special
He's always
bond.
usually in the cockpit unless he's taking a nap in his little closet.
Yeah.
It's
like they really enjoy each other.
Yeah.
Like, and that part is super cool. I enjoyed that.
Yeah. It's a very well executed and very creative way. And we still get a whole, I feel like there was more episodes in this, there's more aliens in this one episode than I saw in the entire Rise of Skywalker movie.
Ooh, let's not talk about that yet. We could really get that,
guys.
Wait for it. Okay. I just want to add on really quick, and then we can close out with ratings. What you just said. The whole series is doing such a good job with holding, like, not really keeping things simple, but with holding things to play their cards at the appropriate time. It's not super flashy like the newer Star Wars trilogy, where it's kind of like, it really does feel more like fan service, where it's just like, oh, here's some of this blah blah, like space battles, like laser sword fights, like here's this, here's that. And this one, it's a lot more like the pacing that is super well planned out. The characters are really becoming more defined as the series goes along. They're not contradicting themselves like The Last Jedi, like a lot of writing in that style. Like the style is cohesive and it's working really, really well. And I just applaud the showrunners for that.
Yeah. It's got such a, we're getting in touch with the characters and the characters around them. Like we met these three particular characters in this episode and learn to either like and hate them all in the span of like 40 minutes, while also learning a little bit more about Mando and his past. And it's not pushing anything too far to make you go, well, I didn't need to know this, or how will this play out? It's self-contained and in the beginning, I didn't expect to have it be kind of like almost an adventure of the week kind of thing, and like I was expecting kind of that writing where it's going to be pushing and like we need to get
a little bit more Disney-fied,
like really go a little bit
more,
a
little bit over the top almost. I get you.
But this is taking its time, and the the episodes are contained in that, but you are still learning every single episode, save for episode 5, more about the Mandalorian and the relationship that he's having with this baby, and the people that he interacts with throughout the galaxy.
Right.
Which is really fun to watch.
Right. Well said. I definitely agree. So, with that being said, what would you rate this episode?
I'm going to give this episode an A.
An A. That's great.
An A, maybe a minus.
Okay.
Just to give it a little bit more of
room.
a little bit more room of any of the episodes that are after this.
Because if this is the episode, just like more towards the end. If this is only episode 6, it's not even the finale yet.
Like, it didn't blow me away where I was like, dude.
Right. But
it was good.
Exactly. I think I'm gonna also give it an A- as well, because I think that there's potential for it to really blow me away towards the end. Like, the last 2 episodes to go, I think it's been ramping up. The stakes are gonna probably only gonna be higher. I've come to expect, honestly, like a good amount of action towards the end. I don't know what's gonna happen, if they're gonna bring characters back or whatever, introduce new ones that he's going to be fighting alongside with, but it's going to be super, super cool.
Darth Vader might show up.
So I'm going to also give it no, you won't. I'm going to give it an A-. And as a quick side note, I do want to say that I have not enjoyed watching every week a show this much on a weekly basis since Game of Thrones.
Dude.
Yep. So Game of Thrones was my favorite show for a really long time. Kind of teetered out a little bit in the last couple seasons, if you watched it. This one, it's only the first season, but it's
such
very
a good first season. It has really been a fun time. So can't wait to watch the next one and bring it right in.
That's right. Also, if you're listening to this, we are also planning, I think, on doing a Rise of Skywalker review at some point. And we're dreading it and really looking forward to it at the same time to sink our teeth into that one.
Oh yeah, baby.
All right, you guys, thank you so much. Sorry for that. Thanks for listening to Disney Plus The Fuss. Go ahead and like this if you are watching this on the YouTube. Leave us a review on iTunes or Podomatic. And thanks for listening. And
we'll see you next time.